smart. Okay, so tell me what you did as a kid.
Oh man, things that you wouldn't do today.
Like what?
Oh, we played in the alleys in the park. Like caught fireflies, played tag. In the dark, we didn't have to worry about it. I mean, 10 o'clock, maybe we got called in, but all kinds of tag and all the jump rope and all that stuff. We'd go over to the park and play games over there, play ball. We feed the squirrels. We do all the stuff. The whole bunch of kids in the neighborhood.
Cool.
That was our playing area.
And who were your parents?
They were Esther Dieter and Eugene Dieter.
And what did they do, or what do they do?
They're both deceased now.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Can you tell us about your parents?
My mom worked as a waitress in a factory. My dad worked at Hershey Chocolate and retired from there. Both my parents are World War II veterans. They were both in the Army.
Wow.
My mom was what they called a WAC.
Isn't that interesting?
And my dad was regular Army, yes.
God bless them. And then did you have brothers and sisters?
No, I lost my brother when he was a baby.
I'm so sorry. Are you married? Or?
Yes.
And who's your husband?
Daryl.
And children?
I have 3.
You want to name them?
Patrick Wren, Melanie Roberts, and Brad Wren.
Okay.
And I have 3 stepchildren.
Okay. What are their names?
They're all Jared Focht, Justin Focht, and Zach Focht.
What a lovely family. Grandchildren?
We have 12.
Really? I won't make you name all of them. So tell me, growing up, what was your favorite thing? Did you ever have an interest, a hobby?
Music. I always liked music. I did collect records. I sang in the church choir when I was young, and in school chorus. I did that. Used to go to the playground dances when they had them in town.
Where did you go to a playground dance?
Mostly LAA or sometimes South 6th Street.
Okay. And so your parents were both in the service. Did that interest you? Did you go in the service?
I wanted to. I graduated when I was 17 and I wanted to enlist in the Navy. And I went in and got the paperwork and I needed to have a parent's signature and my dad refused to sign for me at the time. He wouldn't let me go.
Oh my goodness. So what'd you do instead?
I started working.
What'd you do?
Well, my first job after high school, I worked at Fort Indian Town Gap.
Tell us about that. What did you do there?
Worked in household goods. We authorized shipment and storage for the soldiers' household goods.
Okay. And how many years did you work there?
Maybe a year and a half. And then when they talked about closing the Gap and everybody was looking for a job, a friend of mine offered me a job in the municipal building. She said her boss was looking to replace her. So I went and interviewed and I got that job as a secretary for Lebanon County Housing and Redevelopment Authority.
Okay. And do I understand you worked your way over to a 911 telecommunications?
Yes, they were across the hall, and I started meeting all the people and the police officers. And this was the one night I was in there with my ex, and he worked there full time. And I learned just by sitting there, learned all the different stations and police officers. And there was a bad storm one night, and 2 guys were in there, and they said, "Start answering the phone." They said, "You know what to do," and talk on the radio. Tell them what the police officers. And when Mr. Funk was in charge at that time, and he came in and he said, "Would you like a job here?" He says, but at the time you had to be civil service. Yeah, I had to go take a civil service test. And down the line, I did get a job in there. I worked in there for 5 years as a 911 dispatcher for Lebanon County.
Wow. And then what'd you do from there?
I went to Hershey Med Center and I dispatched Lifeline helicopter for all but 25 years.
Oh my goodness, that's a really big job. Can you tell me like the most memorable story from your years of dispatching?
Oh my.
Were there floods or hurricanes?
Yes, storms with flooding, building collapses, vehicles into structures, general fires. I was working the night Bargaintown burned.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Tell me about that.
Oh, the radios went wild. We had to call extra people in for everything. We just about emptied every tanker from the county to come up there and help put it out, and had all the ambulances and government agencies there to help. It was one big fire. sure.
Now, did you retire from the Lifeline?
Yes.
Okay. And so what do you do to keep yourself busy these days?
Well, I have 4 adopted dogs. I am a big-time animal lover, and all my dogs are adopted, rescued from some of them from bad situations. We have 2 horses. It's a lot.
Animals can keep you busy.
And I still sing. And
At church?
Yes. And I like to crochet.
Where do you go to church?
St. Stephen's Christian Fellowship Church.
Where's that?
It's in North Lebanon at Hunter's Chase Lane and Grace Avenue there at the corner.
Okay. And you said you sing there in the choir?
Yes.
Okay. And let's see. What is your goal for the future? Do you have a bucket list?
Oh. I have some. I've been to 2 places I wanted to go, which was Hawaii and Australia.
Wow.
I would like to go to Austria.
Why Austria?
I'm just fascinated with that.
Okay. Well, I hope that comes true for you. Are you working towards it?
Well, I'd be happy now. I would like to go to Tennessee and Kentucky and Wyoming and Montana. That's one thing I'd like to try to do.
And what do you want to do there?
I'll sightsee and go. I'd like different things and go to the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville.
Okay.
See the mountains in Montana.
I didn't know if you had a national park tour set up or something like that.
No, not yet. Once I look at it and plan it more, maybe I'll
Yeah.